All right, we're going to get started by getting into giving you guys an overview of the workflows and how to activate some of those pieces. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to create a new workflow from the automations menu on the side. And there's some recipes that are pre-built in here, so you can get kind of an idea of what they're doing. But we're going to go ahead and start one from scratch, just so we can go through the different elements so you guys can understand exactly what it is that we're going to do. I'm just going to give it a quick name here and then save it so we don't lose it. Go over the components real quick. We have the name area up here at the top. We have your draft publish button. If it's in draft mode, it will not fire. We have the builder area, which we'll go over in a minute. The detailed settings. A couple of the ones that are really something you need to get to know is this allow re-entry. Basically, when a contact comes into a workflow, it'll go through once and it gets logged. If you do not have allow re-entry on, they'll only be able to use that workflow one time, and then they'll never be able to use it again. So that's something where if maybe the very first time you interact with somebody, you want it to do a certain thing, it'll do it. Otherwise, it'll never do it again. So stop on response. Just like it says, ends workflow for contact if the contact responds to a message that's sent from the workflow. So sometimes you could build a workflow where, say, people aren't responsive. You can just send it into the workflow, and it'll keep pinging at them every so often, trying to get a response. And then when they finally do, it stops. You can set the default time zone, whether you want it to based off the account time zone or the contact time zone, if that's a thing. You can have it operate within a specified window. So say you're sending messages kind of only during business hours, that kind of thing, as well as log default sender details like your the from name, the from email address. So then we can use those within the workflows without having to define them for every message that goes out. And then whether or not you're marking conversations as read. Your enrollment history, this is going to show every time a contact fires off this workflow. It's going to create a listing in here, the date, the action it took, what's next, then the full execution log. So this is going to give you a list of everything that took place and the results of all of those things. If there's any errors, this is the place you're going to find them. So we're going to go back into the builder area, and we're going to look at the workflow triggers. Now, the workflow triggers, this top box right here, where it says add new workflow trigger. We don't have any currently, but we're going to be able to define a couple of them. So if we just click on it, we're going to be able to come through and see all of the trigger options that are available. Might try to go through these in separate videos for you guys so you can get an idea of what each of them do and maybe some examples of how to use them. But there's a lot of them here. You've got birthday reminders, whether a contact's been changed or created, if the contact D&D, the do not disturb, contact tags, custom date reminders, whether notes were added or changed or a task was added, task reminder, task completed. And then they've got different events that occur, such as you received an inbound webhook, call status, email events, customers replied, form were submitted, surveys submitted. Form submitted is the one you're probably going to use most frequently, just in general, as your forms get filled out and you get leads. Facebook lead form submitted, also a very important one, as is the TikTok form submitted. Video tracking, so any of the hosted videos, it'll track how far you've gotten through the process, whether there's a validation error with Twilio. So when you go to send out a text message or a phone call, if there's some kind of an error that occurs, you can catch those. LinkedIn lead form submissions, so those are again for the ads. So your Facebook lead form, TikTok lead form, LinkedIn lead form are very important to get to know, as is the form submitted. These others, they're all very powerful, but these are the ones that I find most frequently everybody is using. Appointment status and customer booked appointment. These are letting you fire some things based off of the calendars and calendar bookings. Opportunities, these help you automate some things within the pipeline, but if the opportunity status changes or a new one's created or changed, or the pipeline status changes or the opportunities become stale, the affiliate marketing opportunities that are within the system, the affiliate management, affiliate created stuff, and then on to some membership type things, where if you're creating a new category, new categories are started or completed, if somebody started or completed lessons, new membership or sign up if an offer has access granted to them, maybe as part of a package or something like that, or if it's removed. Um, if the specific product was access granted or removed, if they started a new product or completed a new product, or if they logged into the platform. So you can automate things on all of those types of things with memberships as well. Payments, another big deal is like invoice related triggers, payments received, order form were submitted, or an order itself was submitted. And then with the integration from Shopify, things like abandoned cart checkout, order placed, order fulfillment, and then, of course, the new IVR features. So let's look at a simple one. We're going to look at the form submitted just to give you an idea how it works. So if you click on it, you can choose the workflow trigger, right? The form submitted is the trigger that we have submitted. The workflow trigger name. I find it's helpful to make this descriptive both on what it's doing as well as the details. So we can come back up and we'll rename this, and then we'll be able to see up here, and you'll be able to see that a little better in a second, but you'll be able to see it within this trigger area easily. So then we come down to the filter area. Filters give us a way to be able to be more specific about a specific trigger. So if we say that we want the form to be submitted, then we can have it give us some details about other custom fields we might have in the system. Like we might, might say that, hey, this field contains this phrase. So if we had, let's say we had a field on here that said they were looking for marketing service, and we wanted it to contain a phrase for chatbots, right? So then we type chatbots after we went and found our field. If it contains the phrase chatbots or it has an exact match. There's also intent type, whether positive or negative intent is inferred as a result of what was entered. Or just simply if it's not empty. There's a lot we can do, but generally with forms, forms is going to be, hey, this specific form, and let's just say this fires off of the affiliate partnership application. We'll just go select the form that we have. Now, these forms are named off of the form name in the form builder, not off of the funnel that form may sit in. So that's an important distinction. But you can add multiple filters, say, if the form is partnership application, and then are you new to AI, contains the phrase, we probably want to use an exact match here, but with the exact match, yes, right? So we save this trigger. So now this is form submitted, but it's not very descriptive. So let's go give it a trigger name. So we'll say the affiliate partner form due to AI, right? So now when we save this trigger, you can see that this renames up here in the box. And we could potentially say that, hey, you know what? We also want Facebook leads to do the same thing, right? So then we can say the Facebook lead form action trigger, and then in form, and then we select the form that we have mapped to within Facebook. Let's just select this one as an example, right? So now you can see it says Facebook lead form submitted. Again, not descriptive. Right, so then we say Facebook lead form affiliate partner, right? So now we have two different triggers that will send down the actions of this workflow. We're going to save this draft here just so we don't lose our work, which brings us to adding an action. Now the plus sign is going to give us the information about this action, and these are the things that we can do whenever this workflow runs, right? In this case, we have two different ones, so we probably either want to do the same thing regardless of the trigger that happens, in which case we make one series of events from the top to the bottom, and we might do something like, hey, we're going to send a message. We'll go through kind of what these options are for actions in a minute. But then we also have some that have conditional or control type logic, which would allow us to do slightly different things in the same place. Now, if both of these two forms were going to do something completely different, we would just want to separate them into their own workflows and just be done with it. But if we had a lot of similarities to what they're doing, and there's a reason to be grouping them together so that we don't have to redo actions, or maybe their actions merge together in one spot, we can take care of that in another way. Let's go through these real quick. Under contacts, For a contact, we can create or update that contact. We can find a contact and pull back information about it potentially. We can update a specific field on a contact, add a contact tag, remove a contact tag. We can assign that contact to a user or remove the assigned user. We can edit a conversation that we're having with that contact. We can enable or disable the do not disturb. Add notes to the contact profile where we can see inside the CRM. We can add a task for that, and we can also copy it. Different communication methods that we have are sending an email, an SMS, Slack messages, calls, voicemail, Facebook Messenger, Instagram DM, manual action to SMS. The manual actions set things into a list, and then you have to go in and actually do it. And then once it's been done, you forward it on, and it can continue in the workflow. Same thing, but this is for a call. Google My Business messaging, or also now known as Google Business Profile, but it's native messaging right with Google. Send an internal notification. That's going to send you a notification in the web browser app as well as the handset app. Send review requests, so that's your reputation management. And then we can use conversational AI. We can also move data with other platforms. We can send a custom webhook somewhere. We can send a general webhook, which is going to basically send like basic contact data as well as some custom fields that exist in that contact. Google Sheets, we can send information right to Google Sheets, or utilize some internal tools. So this if-else, this is going to be kind of control logic here. We have a wait step. We have a goal event, so that kind of is like the end of the workflow. That's what we're trying to achieve and get to. We can update custom values within the system. We can go to, so we can skip over some actions in certain situations, or we can finish out a branch and then merge it into something else. The time and date formatter, so we can get a good, properly formatted time and date. Numbers, we can do some basic math. Set start dates for events. We can trigger off another workflow from this workflow. We can remove you from a workflow from this workflow. We can remove all of them. We can set up a drip mode, which is basically going to allow so many contacts to come through so fast. So if you only, say, want 5 or 6 contacts to go at a time, 5 or 6 contacts can go through the step, maybe wait 10 minutes, another 5 or 6 contacts can go through the steps. It's kind of just some reasons you don't want to do some actions repetitively, like you wouldn't want to spam Facebook messages that could get you banned. But you also might not want to send out a bunch of outreach and then be flooded with a response of too many people that you can't keep up with conversations for. The workflow AI, this is going to be your ChatGPT step. Then we have some booking options with the Eliza platform. So you can have Eliza start automatically booking people into the calendar, or you can send it to a rollover agent with the Eliza agent platform. You can update an appointment status. You can also update or create an opportunity. You can remove an opportunity. You can charge a customer with Stripe if they have their credit card already on file. You can send them an invoice. You can send a proposal and estimate. Within marketing, we have some control to help with audiences, right? We can add to Google Analytics. We can add to AdWords, Facebook, add to a custom audience or remove from a custom audience. We can use the conversions API. This was a big thing when iOS 14 rolled out. Third-party tracking is a little difficult, so this conversion API helped overcome some of the third-party tracking issues. We have some control over the affiliate system. Again, we can add somebody to the affiliate manager. We can update a specific affiliate. We can add them to an affiliate campaign or remove them from an affiliate campaign. So this is going to allow you to create affiliates and help with a specific campaign for a certain product that you're affiliating for, to get them to be able to sell on your behalf, and you pay a commission for it, which is super powerful. Membership offers, you can grant or revoke offers. And then we have some of the new IVR menu options to gather input from the caller, to say or play a message, connect to the call, or record a voicemail. So those are all of the options. So let's say one of the first things that we might want to do when somebody comes through the field is we might want to add a contact tag to them so we can sort them easily. So if we click add a contact tag, we can go to tags. We can select an existing tag that's in the system, or you can be begin typing something, and then the new tag will add up. Say if we wanted AFSD to be our new tag, we click new tag, and that would add it to the system. I'm just going to select a random tag here for the sake of, let's just say we want the tag Academy. So now if either the affiliate partner form is filled out or the Facebook lead form is filled out, they're going to come through, and it's going to add tag. And again, I like to be descriptive. It makes it easier to look at when you're trying to figure out what's happening. You don't have to drill into all these necessarily. We can add another option. Let's say we want to send an email. So we can just use the send email action. If you didn't define the from name and from email over here in the settings tab, right in here, you have to manually define them in this step. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to send the email. It's not going to go through. So you just put your from name, email, give it a subject, type out the email, and here's probably a good spot to talk to you about custom values. Custom values are values that allow you to pull information from your account, the client account, or the client profile and put them into the email. So for an example, common one is maybe you want to use their name, right? So you can select contact, the full name, first name, last name, their email, phone, company name, address, all of that information, or you can dig into any of the custom fields that you have, and then whatever value is being held, that's what's going to get entered here. But you also have the options of going through things from the user, so it could come from you, right? When you do a sign-off or a signature, you can add your information, you can add your calendar link, you can add details about the appointment. Now, these are contextual, so some of these things show up and go away based on the types of triggers that triggered the workflow that these are sitting in. So for an example, if you're trying to get information about the event that they just signed up for on the calendar, and you're not using a trigger about that event, you're probably not going to get good and accurate information, as they might have multiple appointments on the calendar. Which one would the system pull from? There's not really a way to know unless it defaults to the last one. That might not be what you want, right? But we can also grab information about the account, so you can use the logo, the owner's name, those types of things. Pull from message, subject, body, different things that are up here. And then we can reference time, attribution. These are things like what they clicked on before they got here, where they came from, where the traffic was, if they were from, Facebook or Google, or where they came from. And then, of course, you have custom values that you can set up that are static in the account, and these values will be the same kind of no matter where you access them from. So, for example, like the app login URL, that's not something that's going to change. You type it once, and then boom, here you can reference it in the email just by doing that. But this works in email, it works in text fields. Most fields where you can free enter data, it's going to work in. That includes stuff like the subject. You see you have this little tag right here that gets you to the custom values here. But they don't have to be accessed through there. If you remember what they are, you can type them. Feel free. I don't like to do it that way, but you might. So then if you save out that task, here, let's just add this real quick. And we're going to send out our email with things to say, save the action, and boom, now you can see that the email has shown up here in the list, right? So now we're going to show you how to use a little bit of control logic. Let's say that we want to make a distinction between the different things that are there, right? We use this if-else statement, and this is going to give us the name of the condition. We're just going to say, what was the trigger? Because that's what we're going to figure out. And we're going to make a branch name of affiliate. So this is when this one comes in. So then we're going to come down to workflow trigger in these segments, because you can do it by a lot of different things. We're just looking for the segment right now for the workflow trigger. So we're going to say the workflow trigger is the affiliate partner application, right? Alternatively, you could say you want it to fire anytime it's not the affiliate partner application, right? We want it to be is, because that's the easiest to use. So now you can add conditions, right? You could say the triggers the new partner application, and current month isn't February, right? You can be pretty specific about it. You could also change these to an or condition. So it would go off if either the affiliate partner form was filled out or it's not February. So you could have different ways of defining these conditions. We can add another branch of our statement. I like to do both branches because it gives us a little bit more leeway in terms of options. So this one's we're going to say is Facebook form. So if the Facebook form was filled out, workflow trigger. If the workflow trigger was the Facebook form, right? Now we're going to save it. What we're going to see is we're going to see places that our workflow can diverge, right? So we have one option for affiliate, one option for Facebook form, and then kind of the catch-all is like, hey, if neither one of these happen, here's what we do. This one's going to end up empty because if neither one of these happened, I don't want to do this anything. I don't even know why we're in here, other than somebody probably made a mistake and sent them into this workflow. So then we can say, hey, we tagged them to the academy. We sent them an email. Now, if they're an affiliate, let's say we want to maybe we want to just add them to the affiliate manager, right? That's just a basic action. There's nothing much to it. And the Facebook form, maybe from Facebook. Facebook traffic generally wants actions to come back faster, so maybe we're sending them an SMS also. So we're going to send them more things, say only an SMS, right? So the way this flow would happen is either of these would trigger. We'd tag them to the academy. We'd send them an email, and it would say, hey, what was the trigger? If it's an affiliate, they go to the affiliate manager. If it's the Facebook form, they would get sent an SMS, right? But what if we maybe also want to send them an SMS if they were an affiliate? Well, we got a couple different ways we could do that, right? We could take this and we could just copy it. We could just say we want to copy the action, and then we just click over here, and then now it moves over there, and it's a duplicate, right? These are the exact same thing. If you want to remove an action, by the way, you just come up to this little circle up here, go delete action. Yes, you want to delete it, and it's gone. But the other thing that we can do is we can use the go to action. And there's a simple action, and you'll get this green dot, and just drag from the green dot to the black dots that are above an action. So now what will happen is this will come down, add the tag, send the email, say hey, this was an affiliate. It's going to add them to the affiliate manager, and then it's going to come over here and it's going to send the SMS, and it's going to continue on executing down here. I find this is handy if you have like a couple of special things, like the affiliates need a little extra done over here, and they come back, and then we can do more things, right? We could have them wait. Wait step's important to kind of see. So there's a few different options for waiting. You can do it on a time delay. You can say, hey, you want to wait 10 minutes. You can do an advanced window where you're going to wait 10 minutes, but then if you're not inside this window, right, it'll wait till the next available window and then do it. You can do this based on specific days and other stuff like that too. You really want to come in and kind of dig into some of these options just to see what is in them. And you can do that relatively risk-free by just starting a workflow the way we've done here. You don't even have to add a trigger necessarily to investigate a lot of these. You can just investigate them. But if we go back to wait, so you got the time wait, which is minutes, days, hours, or the combination with the advanced window. We can have it based on an appointment time, right? You can have it right before this happens, after it happens, or the exact time of. So like you had an event was starting at a certain time, you could wait till a certain time, and boom, it'll send off a notice. You could say maybe you wanted to send them an email, a day before, make sure they're still coming for their appointment. Maybe sending them a day after. It's a follow-up, right? You're going to wait after a day from this thing and then send them oh, sorry, you missed out. But then you can say what needs to happen after. If this was already in the past, right? If they come in here and you set maybe a specific time and day, and they missed it, do they move to the next step? Do they move to a specific step? Or do they skip all of the outbound communication and just forward on? because what'll happen is if things are set on based on time and you miss the time, it'll say, "Oh, that hit, send it. Oop, that hit, send it. Oop, that hit, send it." So if you have a series of maybe email and SMS and phone calls and things, they just all plow out as fast as possible as they're going down, and all those conditions get hit. So you want to think about those conditions. The other thing is, overdue. Wait until before or after an invoice is overdue, right? So you could say, hey, before an invoice is overdue, you can send a reminder. Hey, just a reminder, your invoice is due tomorrow. Or after, hey, your invoice was due yesterday. Can we get this paid? Or the exact times, like, oh, I'm sorry, you didn't pay your invoice on time. That's going to cost you extra. Or, however you want to work it. It's up to you. It's your business, right? So all you do is you make sure you save it, and then you flip this into publish mode, and you'll be able to work it. But it's also pretty important to make sure that you're coming in and testing your workflows. So you click on test, and then from here you select a contact, and then run it. And it will run through this workflow as if a contact just got stuck in here. Now, if you have specific actions that are dependent on things like an appointment being booked, you're going to have to go book an appointment manually with your own contact in order to test it out properly, because it's not going to have that information if you just send a contact through it, right? So if you're pulling context from your trigger, then we need to make sure that we have context in it when we test it. But that's it. Maybe another thing worth noting is that with these branches in GoTo, just make sure you don't create a condition where this can loop infinitely. The system considers it to be an infinite loop if it were capable of looping 100 times without stopping, and it doesn't see a way to exit. Once it loops 100 times, it will shut down and the workflow will unpublish. So you want to be careful about that. But that is it. Go out there, experiment a little bit, and build up those workflows.